All right, let's talk about the wild world of conversational AI. There are so many new models popping up left and right, it's almost impossible to keep track of them all. So today, we're going to cut through the noise and break it all down.
If you've ever felt totally overwhelmed by all the different AI chatbots, you are definitely not alone. It really feels like every single week there's a new contender that's supposed to be the next big thing. But don't you worry, by the end of this, you are going to have a crystal clear map of this so-called AI jungle. So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about how to even think about this AI overload. Then, we'll meet our 4 main contenders. After that, it's the main event, the showdown, where we put them head to head. Then we'll look at the big challenges they all face, and finally, help you figure out how to choose your own perfect AI copilot. Ready? Let's dive in. Okay, section 1. The goal here is super simple. Let's go from confusion to clarity. And we're going to start with the single most important idea to keep in your head when you're thinking about any of these AIs.
So, this is the key, the absolute crucial point. Thinking about which AI is the best is just the wrong question. You want to think of them more like specialized tools in a toolbox, right? You wouldn't use a screwdriver to hammer in a nail. Same idea here. It is all about matching the right tool to the right task.
So with that whole toolbox idea in mind, let's meet the contenders. We're going to focus on 4 of the biggest names out there right now: ChatGPT, Gemini, DeepSeek, and Grok. And you'll see, each one has its own unique specialty, its own different approach, and a very specific job it's built to do best. First up, we've got the one that pretty much everyone knows, ChatGPT. If this AI was a tool, it'd be the classic Swiss Army knife. It's designed from the ground up to be this flexible, do-it-all assistant that can handle a massive range of requests you throw at it. So let's look under the hood. ChatGPT, of course, comes from OpenAI. It's built on their famous GPT architecture, and it's fine-tuned with something called reinforcement learning from human feedback, or RLHF. Now, that sounds complicated, but all it really means is that humans helped teach it by ranking its answers, which made it way more helpful and conversational. That's what makes it so good for just general stuff. Automating emails, helping a student with homework, you name it. Its key is just that sheer flexibility. Okay, next up is Google's big play in the AI race, Gemini. And if ChatGPT is the Swiss Army knife, think of Gemini as that high-tech, fancy multi-tool. Its whole thing, its defining feature, is how it can juggle all these different kinds of information at once and do it seamlessly.
So here's where Gemini's real power comes from. It's what they call natively multimodal. That's just a fancy way of saying it wasn't just trained on text. It was built from the very beginning to understand images, audio, and code all at the same time. This makes it an absolute powerhouse for complex research or creative projects where you need to pull together info from all kinds of different sources.
Our third contender, DeepSeek, is a completely different kind of animal. This is not your creative partner for brainstorming. Oh no, this is the specialist, the fact checker. This is the AI you go to when you need accuracy above all else. See, DeepSeek's main job isn't to create new stuff. It's to find existing stuff. It's built to scour academic and technical databases to give you solid, verifiable answers. You could think of it like a superpowered research librarian. It's perfect for academic papers, legal work, or any kind of technical analysis where you need citations and facts, not just creative flair. And that brings us to our final contender, Grok, from Elon Musk's xAI. Now, to really understand Grok, you have to understand where it lives, which is on the social media platform X, what used to be Twitter. It is fundamentally wired into the real-time pulse of the internet. Grok's superpower comes directly from where it gets its information. It is plugged right into X, meaning it can tap into live, happening-right-now discussions. This makes it unbelievably good for analyzing social media trends and understanding what people are talking about online in a way that other models trained on older, static data just can't touch. Okay, so we've met the players. Now it's time for the main event, the showdown. Let's put these 4 models right next to each other and see exactly where their strengths and weaknesses lie. When you line them all up like this, you can immediately see the distinct lanes they each operate in. You've got Grok with its real-time social context, Gemini with its do-it-all multimodal versatility, ChatGPT with its general-purpose power, and DeepSeek with its laser focus on data accuracy for research. Each one has a very clear ideal use case. So let's zoom in on the 2 big generalists, ChatGPT and Gemini. ChatGPT really shines with text-based tasks, offering incredible flexibility for things like customer service bots or just writing content. Gemini, on the other hand, is pushing the envelope with that multimodal versatility, letting it handle more complex jobs that involve mixing different data types, like, say, analyzing a graph and then writing a whole report about it.
And now for our specialists, Grok versus DeepSeek. And this is a really fascinating matchup. Grok gives you the pulse of the internet right this second, which is amazing for understanding social trends. DeepSeek gives you verifiable, super accurate information from established facts. It's really the difference between knowing what people are buzzing about today versus knowing what's been proven to be true over time.
Okay, now that we've seen how they stack up, let's zoom out a bit. Because for all their differences, all of these models are staring down a pretty similar set of challenges, and they're all kind of heading toward a shared future.
First, we got to talk about the elephant in the room. Hallucination. This is a super important term to get. It's when an AI confidently says something that's just flat out wrong or completely made up. It's a fundamental problem that every single one of these companies is trying to solve.
And beyond just making stuff up, there are other huge hurdles. There's the issue of algorithmic bias. Since these AIs learn from us, they can accidentally learn our biases too. Then there's data privacy and security, the whole mess of regulation, and of course, the insane amount of computer power and money it takes to even build these things.
So, what's next? Well, the future looks pretty wild. We are heading towards way more immersive AIs that are integrated with things like augmented and virtual reality. We're also going to see smaller, more efficient models that can actually run right on our smartphones. And finally, we'll see even deeper specialization. AIs custom-built for specific fields, like helping doctors diagnose diseases or spotting cyber threats.
Which brings us right to our final section. Now that you have the map of the AI landscape, how do you pick the right co-pilot for your journey? How do you actually put all this knowledge to use?
Let's circle all the way back to where we started. The one big takeaway from all of this is this: stop looking for the best AI. It doesn't exist. Instead, start by thinking about your problem. Are you trying to figure out what people are saying online right now? Grok's your tool. Do you need to write a deeply researched academic paper with citations? DeepSeek is your co-pilot. Need to automate some boring emails? ChatGPT has got you covered.
So I'll just leave you with this one question. You know the players now. You know their strengths, their specialties. You've got the whole toolbox right in front of you. The only thing left to decide is, what amazing problem are you going to solve first? Thanks for tuning in.